Good morning to our viewers and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates, here live from Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Now, I know that our energy has been picked up and we're ready to go through to our next segment, right? So this morning we'll be joined by Director of the Police Complaints Authority, Mr. David West. Good morning to you, Mr. West.
Good morning, Natalia. How are you? I hope you're hearing me loud and clear.
I am hearing you loud and clear. And to your first question, I am fine. Lovely to see you this morning.
Lovely to see you too, and I can't wait to come to Tobago tomorrow for our outreach.
Can't wait to have you over here, yeah?
Yes.
All right. So what really is the role and who is the Police Complaints Authority in Trinidad and Tobago?
Okay, so the Police Complaints Authority is made up of a deputy director and director, myself, all right? So that is what you call the authority. And the authority has the power to hire staff. And we have staff of a complement of over 70 persons working within the P.C.A. So the role of the Police Complaints Authority really is as a civilian oversight body of police officers. We are governed by statute, and the statute allows us to investigate, take complaints, and make referrals to the Director of Public Prosecutions or the Commissioner of Police if we find misconduct. So what is our remit, or what offenses, or what do we look for? So we look for any criminal offense involving a police officer, any serious disciplinary offense, or police corruption. So any criminal offense would be like larceny, murder, rape, etc., theft. Disciplinary offenses would be, for example, like neglect of duty, discreditable conduct, and that sort of things. And police corruption will, of course, be corruption involving police officers whilst they're on duty or whilst they are police officers. So even though they may not be on duty and they commit an offense, they are still police officers and we still have jurisdiction, or we can still investigate those matters. We also give advice to the Commissioner of Police on several matters. Sometimes during an investigation, we find loopholes within the police service, and then we can make a recommendation that they can fix it, and we make a recommendation how they can fix it. So that is what the role of the P.C.A. So we are more or less an independent body made up of civilians overseeing the Trinidad and Tobago police when it comes to dealing with misconduct of police officers. And police officers include special reserve police officers and also municipal police officers. So it's a wide range of officers, police officers.
Okay. All right. So there was some in and out of my audio, but when I visited your site, because when they told me about the Police Complaints Authority, my ears peaked a little. You know, who is this authority? What do they offer? When I visited the site, one of the things that was mentioned was that you all are not a part of the police service. Could you explain a little bit about that, and how does it give you the right to, you know, collect the complaints and deal with them accordingly?
Right, so I'm glad you brought that up. The P.C.A., Police Complaints Authority, is not part of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We are an independent body established by statute. How are we able to gather evidence and have powers? Those powers come from the statute. So in the Act, they have the functions of powers of the P.C.A., and it lays out what we can do. So, for example, we can go and we can collect documents from the police station. We can interview persons, you know, we can collect documents or TV footage from any public body. So we have a wide range of powers that allow us to carry out our function, you know, to deal with investigations.
And how does the P.C.A. help protect citizens' rights and ensure police accountability?
Okay, so when something happens, when, for example, you have a complaint against a police officer, whether it's a criminal complaint or it's a civil complaint, meaning it's a disciplinary offense, we have investigators who will investigate the matter. The investigators will then bring their file and what they've found to our legal department, who would then go through the evidence to make sure that what has been complained of is actually took place, or it actually transpired, or we can prove it. If we cannot prove it, well, then we close the case. But if the matter goes on, it's then referred to the authority, that is the deputy director and myself, the director, to review the complaint to make sure all the evidence is correct, more or less to make sure all the I's and T's are dotted. And then we make a referral to the Director of Public Prosecutions if it's a criminal offense, and then we make it to the Commissioner of Police if it's a serious disciplinary offense.
Explain how someone could make a complaint. So you took us through what you all are responsible for. So how exactly does the public come to you and issue that complaint?
Okay, there are several ways the public can make a complaint or come to us. Now, in Tobago, we are located at Bacalet Street in Tobago, in the Caribana building, in Bacalet, opposite the Hall of Justice and Magistrates Court. So you can come in there in person. We have a complaints officer who will take the report and write it down. And then when our investigators come to Tobago, he or she will then investigate that complaint. You can email in a complaint to to the Police Complaints Authority, and that is at info@pca.org.tt. That is info@pca.org.tt. You can visit our website, www.pca.org.tt, or we have an app that can be downloaded on both the Android and iOS phone. You go to the Play Store and you plug in Police Complaints Authority, TT, and you download the app for free. And the app allows you to make a complaint. It allows you to take pictures, allows you to attach a statement, voice notes. And the app also has all about the P.C.A. It has our financial details. It has what's new. It has up-to-date information. And this is what I want to be pushing also at the outreach on tomorrow, in that I want to introduce and I want to go through the app, because I noticed that we have pulled the data on Tobago, and mainly complaints have come in person or hand delivered. Now that's fine, and we encourage that, and you can do that. But if you want to sit at your home and make a complaint, you can do so via our app. It's a very interactive app. It's a modern app, and we've had it actually since about 2017, 2018, and we've had many complaints downloaded from the app. So I want to introduce that at the outreach. So those are the 3 or 4 main ways of making a complaint to the Police Complaints Authority, and I want to go through the walk, and I want to walk persons also through the process of making the complaint at the outreach on Thursday when we meet in person in Tobago.
Okay. All right. So now I'm coming from a citizen standpoint. Now, I know that you said it's it's open, that any citizen could come and they could lodge their complaint at the office or via the app, as you are encouraging persons to do.
Yes.
What about the confidentiality of that person? How is that maintained? Do people come to the office and it's done anonymously? Does the name have to be mentioned on the case docket whenever it's presented? How is confidentiality maintained?
Again, Natalya, that's a very great question, because that's a lot of persons have raised concerns. The P.C.A. Act has a clause dealing with confidentiality. So we have to be confident in our dealings with your matter. Now, you can come into the P.C.A. and give a complaint to the complaints officer, and that again is confidential. He cannot disclose that complaint to anybody, otherwise he'll be breaching the act and can be liable to punishment. Okay, now the whole setup of the P.C.A. deals with confidentiality, and we guard confidentiality very seriously in our dealings with your matter. And to ensure the confidentiality, we have a CMC case management process to deal with confidentiality, to make sure that persons' names do not get leaked out of their office. So again, and knock on wood, in my 10 years as the director of the Police Complaints Authority, we haven't had any persons, any names or any information or evidence leak into the public domain. And Trinidad and Tobago is very social media savvy. So if anything had happened, you would have heard about it. So again, you can make a complaint anonymously, and we will take the complaint. However, there's so much we can do on an anonymous complaint. Eventually, we would need to take a statement from you, because we would need the evidence from you that what transpired. So if you don't have to put your name if you don't want to, but you can leave a phone number or an email address or some means of contacting you. So if we need to contact you during the investigation, we will contact you. But rest assured, the information you give to us will be confidential. Trust me, we've had a lot of confidential matters pass through the P.C.A. in my 10 years, and nothing has leaked out. And we pride ourselves in confidentiality at the Police Complaints Authority.
Okay, thank you. And we're looking at the follow through now. So, sometimes you would lodge a complaint somewhere and you're wondering if it's being carried out. Is the process started? How long do I have to look forward to in terms of getting results on it? So how does the P.C.A. ensure that complaints are handled fairly and transparently?
Well, we have a CMC case management system where the deputy director has teams under her, and I have teams under me. And every so often, we meet to go through the file to make sure it's moving forward. If there's any difficulties in the matter, we can assist the investigator or the legal officer to work out the issue and move the file forward. So that's how we make sure that the file moves forward. Now, when your complaint is assigned to you, we give you a phone number of the investigator who you can call at any time, well, any reasonable time, of course. But you can call the investigator to find out what has been happening to your investigation, and then the investigator will tell you. Now, of course, Natalya, all investigations are not the same. Okay, yes. So they will take different times depending on the complexity of the matter, depending on the third-party information we need to get, because sometimes we need to write for information from third parties, and that takes some time to receive the documents. So that may take some time, but you can always write into the Police Complaints Authority. And even after your referral, the Act has been amended in 2020, so that therefore, after 3 months of the referral, we can ask the DPP or the Commissioner of Police what has been happening to the matter. Where has it reached in their investigation or in their dealing with the matter? And therefore, that is a mechanism that was granted to us by an amendment, so we can follow up with the DPP or the Commissioner of Police.
All right. So you mentioned that you cannot wait to come to Tobago, and as I said, we cannot wait to have you here. Now, on coming to Tobago, you have mentioned that you are addressing certain concerns regarding Tobago. Could you mention some of those common concerns or issues that you have been recently addressing in Tobago?
Yeah. I was speaking with my investigators to get an update, to get the feel the pulse of what's happening in Tobago. And a lot of the matters that I think that Tobago is facing are matters dealing with police officers, just not customer service, not being customer service savvy, I guess being rude to complainants and persons, and also to neglect of duty. I have some statistics here, Natalya. I just want to share with your listeners that, disciplinary offenses that took place that we had from 1st of October last year to September 30th this year, discreditable conduct, we have had 46 officers. We've investigated 46 officers. Neglect of duty, we've done 33 investigations. Unlawful or unnecessary exercise of authority, that's 33 investigations also. Disobedience to orders, 13 in police officers. Corrupt practices, 5. And falsehood or provocation, 1. So we've done, for the year so far, we've investigated 131 officers for civil matters. And for criminal matters, for the same time period, assault was quite high on 20 officers. Firearm offenses have been 13. Damage to property, 6. Police-involved shootings and shootings, 4 matters. And lastly, 3 matters. So these are the type of offenses that have been taking place in Tobago. And that is, and we are coming to Tobago. We are going to be at the multi-purpose facility in Canaan, Bon Accord, from 6 to 8. And Scarborough, has the most amount of complaints, followed by Chevron Road, then Crown Point. Then we haven't had complaints against the Tobago Divisional Task Force, Roxborough, Charlottesville, Moriah. So those are the areas. So that is why we're coming to Scarborough and Chevron Road, because the most amount of complaints and I guess police misconduct happens around those areas.
Okay, so we're a bit pressed for time right now, but before you go, could you give us those times again and where you'll be situated to address, and would you be able to address any of the complaints that are put forward from the public if they so do attend?
Natalya, you're on the ball this morning because we have a complaints officer who will be there and an investigator who will be there at the outreach. Is at Canaan Bon Accord multi-purpose facility from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. All are welcome from all over Tobago. I hope persons come listening to us this morning and seeing us on the screen would come, ask questions. It's a conversation between the Police Complaints Authority and you. We want to hear what we've been doing right, what we've been doing wrong. So it's not me coming to lecture you. It's you coming to tell us instances of police misconduct, if you have had that, and how we can assist you to address your complaint. So again, I say we look forward to coming to Tobago tomorrow, and I hope it's a packed crowd, packed house, and I really, really want to answer all your questions that all Tobagonians have for us.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. West. As I said before, we look forward to having you here over in Tobago. Safe travels to you. And I really do hope that this program is a success. With all the complaints that we might hear on social media, I hope that it is actually brought forward so that you are able to address it, you and your team. Yeah. So thank you so much for being with us this morning here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. Viewers, thank you so much for being with us here on Youth Wednesdays. We continue on with Good Morning Tobago with Miss Chanel. I ask you to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live.